Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we're doing something pretty unique. This is the Lego Optimus Prime. Hasbro sent this to me as a review sample so that I could show you guys, and I said that sounds like something I want to review. It's a really cool idea, and if it works at all, I think Lego people and Transformers people are going to be thrilled. The Lego people especially, because it is straight up a Lego set. It just happens to be Optimus Prime. And then Transformers people, I think if they don't mind the fact that it's Lego, then they're going to love it. And if they like the idea that it's Lego, then they're going to love it even more. So yes, I would like to review it. I was a little trepidatious because it's a huge kit. Like, the box is so tall that I can't fit it, like, at all with this thing also on the screen. It's a huge kit. Lots and lots of pieces, 1,500 pieces. Okay, it's a cool thing. Let's get it off the stand so I can actually get into some details about it. It's a super cool set. Before we get into the actual figure review, I just want to show you the booklet that it comes with, because it is thick. It's like, I was very nervous when I first opened this. I was like, I haven't built Lego since I was a kid, and I don't know if I have the time or the determination or the constitution to build a kit that's this involved. And it's really not. I blew through it. I was watching TV with my wife. I built it in bed, like in the least opportune way. I was just sitting in bed building this. It took me a couple hours, like while watching TV and having snacks and stuff. So there's a lot to it, but the instructions are super nice. I don't know if all Lego kits are like this now, but when I was a kid, they were just folded sheets. And I guess for this, that couldn't happen. But the booklet is super nice. All of the information you need. The instructions were super clear. Transformation directions. Very, very pleased with it. I was expecting it to be somewhat of a hassle, and it really wasn't. Okay, so we're going to start off with truck mode. For being a Lego kit, this looks wonderful. I like it. But first, we have to do a question of the day. How do you guys feel about this? If you're a Transformers fan, is it a problem that it's Lego, or is it a good thing? And if you're a Lego fan, is it just all around awesome? Let me know how you feel. I think it's a really cool, unique thing, but the rest of my opinion is going to come in the way of this review. Okay, so being Lego, they have a lot of really nice detail in here that's not just like brick pegs. You can see the legs, the trailer part. It's basically all smooth, and it looks basically like your standard Optimus Prime. On the front, it does look a bit more Lego-y with the windows. You can see through there. There's big gaps right here instead of having a window there. It does look a lot more like a Lego kit rather than a Transformer. But generally speaking, it does still look really good as both. I think for me, the worst thing on the whole aesthetic is the exhaust pipes, the smokestacks. They're not shiny. We have the shiny pieces down here for the tanks and for the windows and things like that, the grills. But these guys aren't shiny. They're nowhere near as shiny, and they don't exactly look like exhaust stacks, so that's a bit of a bummer. But the print work is nice, and the overall build is really good. The wheels are nice rubber wheels. Tires, I mean. We have the translucent plastic in the back here for the tail lights. These guys are down here. I don't know if that's supposed to be there for truck mode, but it's definitely there. The headlights, it's all there. It all looks really good. I'm very impressed for what it is. Being a Lego kit, it's nice. I do wish it held itself together a little more. Like, this part's not connected up here. This is all a loose piece. None of it really, most of it doesn't snap together. I think this one actually does, but it pops off very easily. Yeah. So, like, it's not a Ghibli mess, but it is a Lego kit that is also a Transformer, that is also a truck. Okay, and this is his gun that just fits in here, so we're going to take that out, actually, if I can get it out conveniently. We'll talk about that later. And that hides the head and the crotch and stuff. So you definitely want to leave the gun in there if you're displaying it in truck mode. But second question of the day, do you display your Transformers in vehicle mode or only in robot mode? If you only buy one, and if you buy two, let me know. But yeah, I think it's perfectly acceptable for being a Lego kit. This is a good Optimus Prime truck. Like, it looks really good. It's super heavy. It is mostly solid. I'm very impressed with it. It is, I have to be clear though, like, if you're buying this thinking it's going to be as solid as a regular Transformers figure, it's not. It's still a Lego kit, okay? But I think they did as good as they could, as good a job as they could. They did as well as they could to make it a solid action figure / truck. So truck mode, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's really good. I do wish things like this weren't so prone to happening. Having this separate, it's a lot. It does it a lot. But otherwise, it's pretty solid. The main bottom part is nice and solid. It's just the cab where the arms are that doesn't really hold together that well. Okay, I don't ever show transformer transformations in my reviews because I think it's a waste of time. You get the directions, that's part of the fun. So I'm going to transform it. It is a very, very basic transformation, but it's going to get blurry and off camera and stuff. So I'm not going to bother showing you. You can enjoy it for yourself when you get it, but it is a very basic transformation. And then I'll show you robot mode once I get it in robot mode. Okay, so I've got him transformed. Like I said, it is a super simple transformation. There's just no need for me to show you. So the thing about this, it's a really cool piece. It does look like Optimus Prime. It does have some articulation, but if you're expecting it to function... Do these go this way or this way? I can't remember. It's this way. If you're expecting this to function like a regular Transformers action figure, it doesn't. So I want to be clear, like, it's not a Transformer. It is a Lego kit that is also a Transformer. It's kind of like anytime you buy something that does two things, like a copy scanner copier. It doesn't do either one of those things as well as something that's dedicated. This is kind of along those lines. It is super cool, but I need to be clear for those of you who are going to get this, it is not a straight up Transformers action figure. You're going to have some limitations. It looks kibbly right now, but I'm going to show you why it kind of looks like that in the back. It does look awesome. Those of you who just want to display it as an Optimus Prime that's a Transformers Lego kit, it's going to be wonderful. It looks great. I think it looks awesome. As far as a Lego Optimus Prime goes, it's great. The only real complaint I have for the aesthetic is I don't like the eyes. I think the head needed more attention. The eyes are like pinched in and it just doesn't look quite right. It's close, but to me it looks like an afterthought that more than anything. It looks weird to me, but the rest of it does look good. I think they actually nailed the proportioning, and I'm realizing now that this gray blends in with my background almost exactly, but you can still tell. I think it looks great. For being a Lego kit, it looks fantastic. I'm going to get into the articulation, but for the aesthetic, I'm going to give it an 8. I think it looks really good, but the head needs more love. The rest of it looks fantastic, but the head being the main part of the figure, like the character, you're going to notice that. I think it looks really, really good, other than the head could use a little bit more touch-up. Okay, so it does get an 8 for the aesthetic. Now, as far as accessories go, you probably didn't think we were going to get accessories really other than the gun, unless you already read about this. So you do get his gun, and it has a handle with a hinge on it so that you can put it in his back. But you can put that in his hand, and it actually snaps onto these pegs right here so he can hold it properly, and he does hold it pretty well. And the gun is fairly nicely detailed for what it is. Looks good. This whole kit, for being a Lego kit, looks great. I just want to put that out there. We do get his axe, which I think is pretty good. It looks nice from one side specifically. The other side, it's definitely lacking. But it does replace his hand as it's supposed to. So you just pop his hand off, move a little piece around it, it pegs right in. I think it's a nice touch. I do think it could be a little bit better fleshed out because the one side is just the underside of Lego bricks, but it does look nice. I like that they included that. You do get the alternate crotch piece for vehicle mode or robot mode, so that's cool. You get an Energon cube, which is just some bricks, but still, that's nice. And then you get his backpack, which is something that I like a whole bunch. It's his jetpack backpack, and that snaps on. Let's see if I can do it on camera. There you go. And the little thrusters are articulated a little bit, and it's got the logo back there, and it makes him look a whole lot less kibbly, and I don't see why you wouldn't leave that on there. It also keeps his head from flopping around. Maybe you're supposed to leave it on all the time, but you don't have to, and that's why I wanted to show you without it. But it does look like a solid, like it doesn't look like a Lego kit. It looks like a Transformers figure with Lego pegs on it mostly. It's like this, I don't know how to describe it. It's two things at once, guys. But I want to be clear that it's not a straight up Transformer. And we'll get to that mostly in the articulation section. So that's it for the main accessories. Then the last one is a little display stand with a sticker you have to place yourself. Good luck with that. I happen to get all the stickers exactly right every time I did them. But there are a few stickers and you really want to probably have an adult help if you're a kid. And if you're an adult, then have a steady hand and be careful. But nice quality stickers. So accessory wise, for being a Lego kit Transformer, 9 out of 10. Other than the axe looking a little wonky, I think these are really cool accessories. Okay, so as far as articulation goes, the head, it's kind of on a ball peg. I mean, it is, but it also moves up and down a little bit just because of how the transformation works. But you can definitely count on the rotation. You can get a little bit of attitude, but when you do it, things move around. Like, you have to be careful. Again, Lego kit, but it moves around relatively well. I think that's fine. It's okay. The shoulders, now technically you get a butterfly joint out of this because of the way the transformation works, so that's cool. If you want that, you have that. But otherwise, you get a rotation, full-on shoulder rotation. It's ratcheted, nice and solid ratchets, so that's fine. That's okay. You get your hinge out of that. That is also ratcheted, but somewhat limited because this piece bumps into the chest. So the shoulder, a little bit more limited than you might like. There is no bicep swivel at all. I'm reviewing this like it is an action figure just so that you guys get all the information you need. I understand it's a Lego kit. I can hear the Lego people yelling, it's just a Lego kit, of course it doesn't have everything. Okay, I know, but I have to review it. So for the elbow hinge, it's the same hinge as the shoulder actually, so it's ratcheted nicely and you get 90-degree bend. And you get rotation out of it there if you wanted, so it's not a true bicep swivel, but you do get your bicep swivel down there, which is reasonable for even some action figures. So I think that's okay. For the wrists, well, it's not like incredible, but you do get rotation, and then you get a hinge for the hand like that. And the thumb has this hinge here, and this piece rotates. And he can't really hold much, because it has to peg in up here for the gun, or you just replace the hand altogether for the axe. But it does technically have finger articulation and wrist articulation, so that's pretty cool. Now, for the torso, it rotates, but only if you disconnect the flap. So you can see here the rotation is in there, but the flap definitely doesn't let it rotate. Or at least not fully. And you're supposed to snap this in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again on camera. But that snaps in a little bit. So it doesn't really have waist articulation. And also, if you pick it up from here, there's a good chance that these heavy, gigantic legs just pull the body in half. So be careful. I had that happen while I was building it. Again, not an action figure, it's a Lego kit, but kind of also an action figure. Now for the leg articulation, we're going to see how well this works out. Going forward, you can get about that far before it hits the skirt piece and wants to move the skirt piece. Okay, so that's not terrible range. They're super heavy, by the way. They are ratcheted, but all the way out, it's just too heavy for the ratchet. But I don't think you would be posing in like that anyway. Going backward, it stops almost immediately because you have this piece right here blocking it. So you can't really go any real distance backward. Going out to the side, you get about that much range before the wheels start to bump into the abdomen. So a little bit of range, but not a ton. There is no thigh swivel, there is a swivel at the knee, and there's no other articulation at the knee. There's no knee joint. So basically you can't pose the legs. Without a knee joint, you can't really pose the legs. Now for the ankles, surprisingly, you get an ankle rocker, not a ton. That popped off. Lego kit, remember? So you get an ankle rocker, which is kind of cool. Not a ton of range, but it's there. And no toe joint, really. Like that's just for the transformation. So you can't bring the foot forward. So basically, the leg articulation doesn't exist. The waist articulation doesn't really exist. It's not an action figure in that sense. That's when it really starts to show. It is just a Lego kit. Now, for some people, that's not going to matter. For other people, that's going to be a deal breaker. I can't get it to peg back in now. There we go. So for me, it's a novelty. It's not really a Transformers figure. It's a Transformers Lego kit that has some action figure qualities. And I think that's fine. Like, that's what they're going for. It works out. Oh, by the way, I want to note this. It does have rubber nubbins back here to keep him from slipping around on a shelf because he is super heavy and doesn't have the best articulation. So anyway, to summarize, it's a Lego kit first. And that's fine. I'm not criticizing it for it, but I need to be very clear for those of you that want to buy this and let your kids play with it or something. It's not really meant for playing. Once you build it, it's like you can kind of play with it a little bit to pose it just a little bit and then leave it alone. It's not meant for any serious play. It's not really even meant for posing. It's super limited when it comes to action figure qualities. As a Lego kit, it's not limited at all. They did a really, really freaking good job. I'm impressed by how good it is as a Lego kit. I'm impressed as an action figure too, but it does have those very severe shortcomings in terms of articulation and things moving, like this whole flap right here moving when you try to pose it. The body's falling apart because it's way too heavy on the bottom, which is good for standing, but if you pick it up, it'll fall, things like that. I think it's fine. I think that's fine. You just need to be aware of those things. I had to reiterate it a bunch because I don't want somebody buying this as an action figure and then being disappointed. So, as an articulation situation, it gets like a 5 out of 10. It's very, very limited. There's one more accessory, one more feature I wanted to show you, which is pretty cool. It's not the most fleshed out thing in the world, but the fact that they incorporated it makes me very happy. For those of you who are Transformers fans, you will appreciate this. You can open up his chest like you're supposed to be able to. They've got little green things in there, some other stuff going on, and you can pop out the Matrix. He does have the Matrix as an accessory. It's super duper basic, but it's in there, and I appreciate that. I like that they included that. They got a lot of the things really, really right on this release. It's not perfect, but it is pretty darn cool, and I think that's what they were going for. It's a novel thing. It's not completely either one, but it's a good enough version of both things that I think most people are going to be happy with it. I'm happy with it, and I think you will be too. So I'm going to give it a final rating of, as a Lego kit, 10 out of 10. Well, 9 out of 10 because I don't like the eyes. 9.9 out of 10 because I don't like the eyes. As a Transformers figure, 7, generous 7. But as what it is, which isn't quite either of those things only, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I'm impressed by it. I like it. I think anybody who wants this is going to be impressed by it. I think you guys are going to like it. You just need to be aware of those things I pointed out, and that's why I really, really laid heavy onto those things, because I want you guys to know. But it's super cool. I like it. I think they did a cool thing here, and I think this is going to be one of those things that people remember or talk about in the future in terms of the history of Lego or the history of Transformers. I think it's a really cool collectible. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's fine. You can give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day. It's every day but Wednesday, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.